Hello, my name is Kurt Brown, also known as Saint Ram Bone. I have a website titled Mobile Audit Club. I am formerly a bank examiner for the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, the FDIC. I wanted to talk to you about the Lehman Brothers Collapse, the AIG Insurance Fund, and the crime syndicates and the federal government who are going to take on and pay off everyone in AIG. And those are the Lehman Brothers will also get their money back. The only people who are losing are the American working class. So what else is new? This is an international crime syndicate that has put a rope around the American workers' pockets. This is how it works. Lehman Brothers knew they were going to go down back about a year ago. They saw they were getting foreclosures. So they decided to hasten that fall and cut their losses and maybe make a profit. They started selling short on stocks or having someone do so on Lehman Brothers stocks. AIG was probably tipped off to this, and they then contacted the federal deposit, contacted the crime syndicates inside the federal government. That would include the crime syndicates in the Treasury, the crime syndicates in the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, and the crime syndicates under every agency under the National Treasury Employees Union, and then more agencies. What happened was when the Lehman Brothers sold short on their stock, they made profit because what they did was they predicted a loss. They knew that would happen when others did not know. Their stockholders were ripped off around the globe. Then AIG stepped in, paid $80 billion to help offset this loss, or more, 80 billion or more. I think they paid 100 and something billion. Then what AIG did was turn to the crime syndicates and the federal government, who they already have in place, and they demanded some money. They knew that money was coming. This has been prearranged. The American people are being ripped off. When I was working at the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, an honest regional director had been murdered in his office and labeled suicide in San Francisco during George Bush Sr.'s reign in the savings and loans crisis. The man who replaced him, who was George Masa, he had come from Chicago. If you look on my website at Mobile Audit Club, you look at the bottom, you will see a link there before the links to other pages that talks about this situation that was at the FDIC. There you will see a link to the FLRA site. That's the Federal Labor Relations Authority site. And there you will see some statements about George Masa and how he was discriminating in Chicago. He was also discriminating in San Francisco. I was terminated for not dropping an EEOC complaint. They said that was because of poor performance. I was one of the few computer illiterate people there. There was another man who was working there who quit. He hired at the same time as I did. He was much more experienced and much older and much wiser. He quit because he saw the crime syndicates coming in from the NTEU and those at the FDIC in Sacramento. He urged me to quit. I should have quit. Had I known I was going to have my life thrown to ruins, be partially blinded, be blacklisted from federal government, be harassed for years, be injected, be attacked on numerous occasions, I would have quit. I would applaud the elimination of the regime in power because they are not our people. They will grind us into the dirt and ride us like farm animals, beasts of burden. We would be better off in a conflict inside the United States and to break the United States up. Although I think it would be better if we stop viewing nations as separate individuals and view each other as humans around the globe instead of killing each other as the current regime does. And they insist on killing everyone. Not only do they attack people overseas, but they attack me. Just last night, I was in Panama City, Florida. When I left the hotel room this morning to go have breakfast, I came back. I left my computer in the room, and someone on staff told me 2 federal agents had gone into my room. When I left that room, and as I was leaving the building, I see these military types coming out at about 10:30 in the morning. One of them was walking with an exaggerated limp. I feel like he was funny. He was a boy. That is the type we will probably have to fight in the event we have to go to war with the regime. Many people will kill for anyone for money, just like they killed for Adolf Hitler. We are no longer allies of the United States. I do not exaggerate on this. I will not use VA health care because they lie on the medical records and they do not allow you to see your medical records. This is a common and known fact. At the Los Angeles Veterans Administration, Westwood, they were doing forced injections and forced experiments on veterans and were ordered to stop in 1999. I was injected by a federal agent there in 2001. I was injected again in 2004 in Arizona. They will inject you for anything, even reporting toxic spills or suspected toxic spills. There is no telling what they're doing to us. It is my hope that the regime is destroyed. They are robbing us of everything. We would be better off dead. Take my word on it. Do you remember the Holocaust? Those people being used in forced experiments and forced injections? Those people were very innocent. As you can see on my picture here, it's actually a double layered painting. Underneath is a demon. On the top layer is what I hope would be a better world. Underneath is a demon, and on top is what I thought would be the better world. The truth is, we are not allowed to have a better world. The demon has come out, just as in my painting he came out. As you can see here, I'll zoom out a little bit for you. It was actually San Francisco. That's my favorite home. I'd like to go back to work there in the Treasury Department. I would love to go back to work as a bank examiner on the behalf of the American working class. I would like to see medical marijuana legalized in Florida because there are many people who are sick here and can use it. There are crime syndicates heavily in Florida. They kill people. It's a medical nightmare here. Also, it's a military nightmare. The Moab Bomb was detonated near Pensacola, Florida a few years ago. I was in Mobile. I smelled something that day that smelled like diesel. I don't know what it was, but I've been told in Fort Alabama that it was nuclear waste, that a nuclear bomb went off underground. I smelled it all the way in Mobile that day. It is my hope that if we cannot get control of our government, that we start urging our children to leave those areas where the government has control, that we view them as foreign to our people, and that our lives are in danger. We should demand that instead of the federal government, those enemies in power in those crime syndicates, instead of them bailing out AIG for $80 billion, we should have them back up and pay off or pay half of the debts owed on the foreclosed homes so that the American people can have their homes that they paid into, and so these banks are not ripping us off. In that manner, not only would AIG get to back off from having to pay an insurance fund, but Lehman Brothers would have enough money where they would not be able to go under. And also, those who sold short on that stock would possibly lose their money, at least in the near future. It would be a double whammy. They tried to slit our throat. We ran up and stuck a razor knife in the back of their throat, calling truth. The American people are getting screwed. We are in fear. We have no constitutional rights. We have no human or civil rights. That's the worst, no human rights. We're treated like animals. I saw where some chimpanzees were being used in experiments, and then they took them off somewhere and put them in a little zoo, and they acted like they'd done those chimpanzees a favor. Take it from me, a member of the upper level primate family. You're better off to be killed than to be used in any forced experiment or forced injections and then let free. They should go ahead and kill you. I have post-traumatic stress you would not believe. When I saw that federal little punk in his military outfit making fun of me today at a hotel in Panama City, I viewed him as a punk kid. If I had to, I would go to war with him. I would never want to. But I will do what is necessary to protect my family, my people around the globe. And I hope that he realizes and grows up and sees that he's nothing but a punk on the government payroll. He does nothing but collect money and run around with that horde of fascist pig dictators and their war criminal military types harassing us.